most imitated person. And it's offensive because if you have that skill set, then you would just simply showcase it and you would never need to bring my name up. You would never put my logo in your stuff. You would never put my name and face in your ads. All that is for you to market with my image, my brand. And I marred my image this year so that way you can't do that. Think about it. Why would anybody want to learn what ICT couldn't do in Robin's Cup? That's what you're forced to market with now. Oh man, you got a real hard sell now. Think about it. Oh, oh man, you didn't see that one. You didn't see that one coming, did you? Oh man, everybody would have planned 2025 mentorships, and they all been getting their source material out of my videos on my YouTube channel. And they want to talk about order blocks and fair value gaps. And I'm gonna have a mentorship, baby. Mentorships opening up in 2025. Yep, and so is mine with real money. No props, no prop firm demo stuff. Nope. No market replay. No delayed data in my live stream, pretending that it's real and live with broker statements that never matched the executions on video streams that were now deleted. Hello. Hello. Still not a cuss word said, isn't it? It's nice, isn't it? I want to introduce you to the truth as well. Okay. Part of my online persona is you think I'm bipolar, but I'm not bipolar. I have done so many things over the years and pantomimed so many things. I absolutely know exactly what I'm doing every single time I say it and do it. It's sometimes it's done way beyond the level of delivery I was expecting it to be. But you all honestly believe I'm unhinged. I'm not. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm capturing your attention by any means necessary, and then I'm challenging you. And for the people that don't really want to learn from me, they want to come here and take shots against me, I'm trolling them and enjoying it the entire time. I show them a faux witness to some kind of contrived weakness that is not there. Think about it. I give you enough to hang yourself, whether you love me or hate me. And the true test is, are you here because you want to make yourself better, or are you here to worship somebody? I'm not your hero. I'm never someone to be worshiped or looked up to. Never. And you should never aspire to be like me. Ever. I am a sinner. I am somebody that makes mistakes. I am a human being. I failed a lot. You should never say, I want to be like you, ICT, when my intentions are for you to be better than me. I purposely have pantomimed someone that doesn't exist online with a supposed mental illness. And I waited for people to take shots at me, and their low class attempts to do so shined a light exactly on who they are. And they were selling services. They're acting like a financial advisor, and they carry themselves like that. That's shocking. And they took the bait perfectly. One of them's real quiet right now. Another is a blowhard, and you'll see them tumble. They're having a lot of fun right now, as they should. But the people that I create as profitable traders, they don't owe me anything. They don't owe me anything. They don't owe me a high five. They don't owe me a you helped me get here, ICT. It wouldn't be possible without you. Never, ever, ever say those things. Never say those things because I didn't put you in those trades. I didn't tell you to take that risk. I didn't comfort you throughout the process of you entering that trade, holding the risk, and then taking the profit when you did. I had no part in that. And while I can understand you're trying to give it the respect and the I guess the appreciation for the influence I had over you, your success is your success. You worked for it, you believed in it before it came to fruition, and you earned it all by yourself. I had no part in that. Sure, I have content up on YouTube. Sure, I have lectures like this where I'm talking about encouraging you and giving you a mindset overhaul. But all these things pale in terms of what matters most because I can talk and talk and talk and teach forever until someone takes that understanding and makes it their own and applies it to themselves and they correct their shortcomings, until they do the work, the proper back testing, the logging, the refinement of who they are as a trader, defining what their model is going to be, trading on what time of day, what instrument, and not being influenced or impulsive about chasing something because somebody else, even me, doing something differently. Well, I better do that. I better keep up with it. I better change directions because ICT and the crew are doing something now new. I have a lot of students that never left or migrated from Forex and they're making money still. They are successful students because they didn't change simply because I was more inclined to go back to futures trading. They stayed right where they're planted and they're still profitable. They graduated. That means they don't ever need to worry about listening to an ICT space. They don't need to go over to a YouTube channel and see what's he up to now. They don't need to see what my next tweet's going to be because the majority of what's going to come across X is me just having fun. I've been very candid about that. 90% of what I tweet about, they even call them tweets anymore if it's X. Like, what do you call that? Yeah, I'm going to stick with tweet because it makes sense to me. But whatever I post on X is me being fun. Like it's about me cutting up with y'all. And not everything I say is meant to be serious. And I like to be sometimes dry in my humor and sarcastic. It doesn't usually play well for the folks in another language. They think everything is cut and dry and it's binary, and I don't consider myself a binary. In this case, I guess it would be non-binary, wouldn't I? I'm gonna get some flack for that one, right? But the idea of following somebody and giving all of your credit to them because you succeeded, that's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense. Any success that you get comes by first the grace of God, whether you believe in Him or not, and your own work. Your work ethic, your tenacity, all those things are going to be hallmarks to your success. And you owe no one, me included at the top of the list, you owe none of us any credit for it. I don't give signals, so that means I didn't give you that trade. I don't tell you where to place your stop loss in every individual execution, so that means you did it right by yourself. So when you show me examples that you did really well, I understand what you're doing. Believe me, I know exactly what you're doing and I appreciate it. But stop diluting your success by saying it's all because of you, ICT. It's all thanks to you, ICT. Stop. Stop doing those types of things. Just say, hey, this is what I did. You know what? Awesome. They're the ones I like to thumbs up or give a heart to because you're owning it. And when you try to do something and you did all the things that you thought were right and you failed at it, and you make that post to me, and you're not saying, I used your stuff and it failed. No, I tried this, it didn't work out for me, but I'm not discouraged. You're not giving me credit, you're not tearing down the concepts, and you're owning it. I will always, if I read that comment, I will always like that. Because what am I seeing? I'm seeing someone that's being responsible. They're not trying to glad hand with me just to get me a reply or a heart, like that's a signature or an autograph. Like some of you, honestly, I can see it when you post to me. It's literally like you just want to have some kind of engagement with me. And I'm just a man. Like, I'm just a man. There's nothing special about me. So stop trying to have that relationship with me. Think about what you're doing. Focus on improving yourself. If you want to grow to be someone like in my position where I have a lot of influence and a lot of people listen to what I say and whatever I'm presenting, they want to watch it. If your aspirations are to become like that and then be looked up to, it's going to affect you negatively. You might not think it's going to be like that, but it will be. So when we progress through 2025 next year, and if you do follow what I'm doing and it makes you money, and you're out there and you're talking in your own little circles and you're saying what you're hearing me say, and that analysis is being echoed by you and people that may not be aware of me. Like in Brazil, there's a lot of people right now cloning me. They're not saying they're ICT. They're not pretending to be a conduit where they're just simply translating it from me in my poor English into their language in Brazil. They're omitting any reference to me at all. And they're saying they discovered all this themselves, that they're somehow smart money, and they're not. They're just simply parroting what I've said. And there's a few channels on YouTube that's about to lose their entire show because they've done that. And I've warned you, and I've warned you, and I know you're listening to me. So just expect it. It's coming. But I know that that's gonna happen. I don't care. Okay, I don't care that you're gonna take what I'm gonna do next year, and you're gonna have your own little mentorships, and you're gonna follow what I'm saying, and you're gonna look smart in front of everybody else. Okay, wonderful. But it's not gonna be a whole year of it. It's not gonna be a whole year. I'm not obligated to do this for the entire year, but I will do it for the first half, and then I'm gonna be doing some traveling the second half. Like I have some places I want to see and experience, and I have some things I want to take care of in my other businesses. So, and they're not trade related. So first half of next year, that's my goal. The 2025 mentorship is about 5 months or so of of me sitting down, going over all the asset classes, what I intend to do, what I want to put real money behind. It's not meant to entice you to take real trades with it. In fact, I'm warning you not to do it. Okay. I want you to go in with a skeptical mind. I want you to go in there expecting everything I'm going to do is going to fail. That way, you won't put money behind it. And if it does pan out, just know that you've had a unique experience to see what it looks like beforehand. How much analysis goes into the decisions? What am I focusing on? What tools am I referring to? All that stuff. And you'll see that it's not complicated. I'm going to stick with very simplistic ways of doing it. It's not going to be 15 different models. I'm not even creating a new model. There's no new model necessary. But in January, I will teach you how to formulate and fashion your own model based on everything I put on my YouTube channel. My final point, and I'm going to close this stream out. If you were part of my private mentorship, when I was doing you know, daily commentary and I would talk about the market for that individual day, um, many times I would say that you're learning the building blocks to formulate a trading model for yourself. In the beginning, it's normal for you to not know the direction of where you're going. It's normal for you to not know what PD array to focus on. And I was promoting the idea that you could organically arrive at which PD array that you're going to focus on as your multiplier, the thing that gets you into a trade, whether it be an order block, a fair value gap, a breaker, it's something to that effect. But you don't need every single one of my PD arrays to be profitable. And I'm going to teach in January in those 20 in those 20 contracts, in those 20 individual lectures that will be pre-recorded, so they're not live streamed. That way, it'll allow me to make these videos real short and concise. I know that sounds impossible, but I purposely make these things sometimes long, not because I love the way I sound or my own voice, but because I want people to physically put the effort into listening to good sound logic, in addition to me tucking in the little nuggets and the gems inside those uh, lectures. So it's all premeditated, okay? And kind of like when I tell you it's going to be a long one or a short one, it's a long one. Um, or if I say, all right, I'm done for the day, be safe. It's a running gag I do on Twitter. It's something I intend to do because I knew people are going to laugh about it, and the new people are going to be like, "What's up with this guy? He just said he was done. He keeps coming back." I love that. It makes me laugh. It makes me smile. And I know if I'm smiling about it, I know there's a lot of you that get the joke. You know you've been around me long enough, and it's funny to see people literally lose their minds over like this guy's out of his mind. Like he's impulsive. I'm not impulsive, but I play a character online that makes you think that I am. It's just that entertainer aspect of me. I love doing that. It gives me a great deal of pleasure and joy. It makes me literally laugh out loud. And my wife looks at me, "What are you doing now? What do you do, Michael? What did you do? What did you just do?" And it's funny. And sometimes she doesn't get the joke, but it's okay. She doesn't need to get the joke. She just likes that it's not drama where it's hurting anybody's feelings. And it's something that just makes me happy. It makes me smile, and it makes other people that are part of our community smile. And it's hurting no one's feelings. And to me, it's fun. So the point is, you're going to see how you can pick certain aspects of what I taught instead of trying to have a kitchen sink approach, meaning everything that you have to make or prepare food is in the sink dirty. Okay. When you're trading and you're building a model, you only need a couple components, but you have to have a basic understanding. When should you? When shouldn't you? Those are very generic things. Knowing when the market's likely to be conducive for a easy trade, which I define as a high resistance liquidity run condition. That's a more difficult trading environment. Not impossible to trade, but a new trader is going to be very hard pressed to find the very first entry being met with no drawdown. In fact, they're probably going to get stopped out a lot if they keep trying. And if they don't know how to control themselves, they'll go on tilt and blow their account. Or if they use these funded account companies, they'll go into maximum drawdown and then they'll be forced to stop trading for that day. If I understand it correctly, I think that's how it works. I don't know if it means that you stop trading for that day still, or if it ends you. I don't know. I don't know the full dynamics, but the folks that are listening that do trade that kind of stuff, you understand what I mean. The point is, in high resistance liquidity run conditions, I'm not trying to trade those environments next year in front of you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm focusing on times where the market's more liquid and it's loose. That means it's going to be low resistance liquidity run conditions. That means when I'm putting money in these moves, I anticipate them to be free, fast, and loose, running right to where I want it to go, quickly overcoming the spread and allowing me to reduce the risk. That's what I'm looking for. My mentorship has always been predicated on that being the final conclusion to you as a defining process, condition to trade in, what environment, because not every single day is a trading environment for a new trader. It's not. And these campus crusaders that want to, parrot me in their mentorships and say they don't, they're out there trying to fill your head up with nonsense. They are not properly educated. They have no idea what they're talking about, and they're not equipped, and they are not even in a position of authority to be talking like an educator. And they're filling your head up with nonsense. Not every single day is a low risk trade for a new trader. And as an educator, I'm always going to start with that as my audience. And I am aware that most of you that have been with me for a long period of time, you have heard these before. You've heard these talking points before. It sounds redundant, but you're not the only person that's listening to me. And it takes a great deal of filtering on your part. And I understand it's not fun to do that because you want me to talk about something new all the time, some kind of new magic trick, some kind of new twist on something that will give you precision that this transcends all the uh, you know other models that I've ever taught before. When you don't need all that stuff, all you need is a simple know when to trade, when not to, and that's derived by experience and understanding what price action looks like between the relationships between high resistance liquidity run, where the market overlaps the previous candles a lot of retracements back and forth. It still might go to where you think it's going to go, but it's not going to be a straight shot. That's not the conditions that I'm teaching students to trade in. But I have to teach them reading price action in those environments because just like following the tracks in the snow when you're going hunting, you will recognize because you've seen it before. You've walked that path before. You know that there's deer walking in this pathway. So if you put up a hide and you wait, give it enough time, When? Always in the morning and late in the evening. That's if you were here with me at my home, it's amazing how like they're cyclical. All these deer show up in the span of 3 hours. There's a 3 hour window where we can set a clock to this is like a kill zone in time. Right before dawn and 2 hours after dawn, I know I got 15 to 30 deer in my backyard at the edge of the forest. In the evening time, the same thing. I watch them come down the hill. It's always the same thing. Always the same thing. 1 hour before sunset and 2 hours after sunset. They're just there every single day. In fact, I had to tell people to get off my property that 4 days ago. They're out there stomping around in the forest. I was like, had to walk out. I said, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing on my property? Oh, we shot a deer and we asked your neighbor if we can cut. I said, my neighbor doesn't own this property. I own this property. Get off of it now. But I'm trying. You're trying to find your way off my property, Jack. Okay, get off my property and don't let me see you come back here again. I don't care if you shot a deer. You're on my property. Don't come back here. I had to put that in there because it's live, and I would edit that part out if it would have been a recorded session. But the point is, there's times where you know that these things are going to repeat, just like the markets. There's kill zones. There are certain times where you're going to operate as a trader and say, okay, these are my working operating hours, and you're going to stick to that. You don't care what happens outside of that. Hunters don't care what the deer are doing when they're not expected to be walking around in these periods of time, early morning or in the evening. They just know that they're setting up shop right there. It's called a blind. Okay, it may be a tree stand or on the ground or a little bit above the ground, but they're simply just sitting in one position. They're not trouncing around in the forest. They're sitting still. That's what you as a trader are doing. You're sitting there waiting for your opportunity to shoot. Now, I personally, I guess I would if I had to eat that way, but as long as they have grocery stores, I'm not going to go out and kill an animal. I'm not going to do it. Okay, I understand why people do it, but if you don't eat it, you're just cruel. If you're just shooting it to take its head off and put it on the mount of a wall, you're a jerk, in my opinion. But if you're consuming that animal respectively and taking it out quickly, I guess I have no problem with that. But I personally have never killed an animal like that. And but in trading, you would think I'm like Elmer Fudd out there trying to shoot everything, or Yosemite Sam, right? That's kind of like what I was when I first started as a trader at 20 years old. I was like Yosemite Sam. Anything you said would cause me to get into a trade going long. I'm out there shooting, right? And I'm carrying on like a crazy guy because I wanted to be in everything because I thought I was going to miss every possible trade. And that's not realistic, but it feels realistic and feels like it's the proper mindset as a new trader because you feel like the next trade is the only trade. The next trade is the last trade you're ever going to have that could make money. It's a weird paradigm shift that needs to be taken where you first start thinking about trading and then gravitating away from I need to be doing something every day. The first permission you should give yourself as a trader in development is I don't need to trade today. Now contrast that with every other influencer out there. They're going to tell you that you have to or you're not a trader. A real trader can no. A real trader knows when to sit still. A real trader is going to have a higher strike rate and a lower frequency of trade, and that's just the truth. But you're never going to hear these people say that because they're incentivized. Why? They got to get you trading. They got to get you trading in these ridiculous thresholds of skill set that you don't have, where the money that you make in demo account has a trailing stop loss on your P&L. You ever stop and think about it? Because that's exactly what they're doing to you. And eventually it's going to come down and stop you out. You're going to hit maximum loss or maximum whatever it is, and then you have to reset the account. And they make money that way. And you are pushing your your progress profitably further down the road. But the influencer that you're worshiping, they're making money off of that. So they're incentivized by you trading more than you should, taking unheard of risks, trading with leverage, hoping you go emulate them. So you blow your account and they can go out and do the things that they're doing that they would never be able to do because they can't make money trading. But they look like they are on as an influencer. They look great, but they're really not as good as they're pretending to be. And you're feeding these people. You're physically giving them their lifestyle and they're rubbing it in your face the whole time. You're in an abusive relationship and you don't even realize it. So what I try to do is I strip away all that stuff. Okay, I got more money than all of them, and I could literally put them on welfare any given day of the week. I can go out there and show them they have nothing, they can't do anything. But that's not my motivation. My motivation is take the average Joe, the person off the street that says, "Hey, I just wish somebody would just simply talk to me plainly and not try to get up in my pockets about anything and show me what works and help me put me in the right direction and give me the skills that I have to practice and I will do it on my own steam." That's who I want to teach. And my millionaire students are the ones that have done that very thing. And a lot of them simply have nothing to do with social media, but they understand the components of making a model is not complicated. When they took notes from me teaching in the private mentorship, when I would say, "You're going to learn a lot of things, I'm going to teach a lot of concepts, but the worst thing you can do is try to apply all of them." But every mentor out there that has my name, my logo, me as their mentor, trained and charter member by ICT, let me explain something to you, okay? And I mean this entirely. If somebody came forward and they're out there marketing themselves as an educator and they're claiming that they're a charter member of me, that's the worst person to learn from because they have no class. When they signed on to be a student of mine, they signed on understanding that they were not going to teach my concepts. But they're no different than a panhandler out there on the road that lives in a nice home, that drives a nice car, but they're wearing rags asking you to give them money and they're making $1,500 to $2,500 a day tax free. They didn't earn that money. They didn't do anything. They're just doing something to pull on your heartstrings. They're defrauding you. And by having my name saying I'm a ICT charter member, I'm a this and I'm a that, trained, I personally trained by ICT, like I'm like I'm Bruce Lee or something. Stop. Stop that. Stop paying these people. Stop. And I know I'm making you angry if you're the persons that are doing it. I don't care. You weren't supposed to be doing this anyway. And anybody that pays you is an idiot because it's for free on my own YouTube channel. And I'm continuously introducing further education. And I'm not asking for anything. I don't care if you use it. I don't care if you love me. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care. None of that stuff has ever stopped me. But the ones that have done very, very well, when I told them not to apply everything, they took the notes and they took it to heart and they applied it. Well, how do you do that? What am I supposed to do with all that content on ICT? Like I would eventually, given enough time, I'll watch everything you got out there, ICT. If it's something that you say I should do, I will spend time. If it takes me one video a week, I will eventually get through it. Maybe, maybe not. But I don't feel like I have to do it if you point me in the right direction. So what direction would that be? Understanding there's conditions in the marketplace that are conducive for very easy trading, and there's other conditions that are not favorable for that. And most of my teachings are helping you determine what that is because no other book, educator, or course or anything ever taught me that. I lost lots of money not knowing that.